Hi there. Hi there, greetings from China. You copy me? Sorry to be very sleepy. It's my second virtual black hat, and it's a great pity for me not to be in Las Vegas due to the travel restriction. I hope you guys safe and sound during this awful pandemic. My city is still under lockdown. The motivation of this briefing is pretty simple. At first, we want to build a detector for folk voices, and then we searched the papers on Google Scholar. The results are very disappointing. There has been many publications on this topic, and almost all of them are reporting very promising performance. The average actually says about 98%, several of them even reach 100. It seems that there is nothing we need to do anymore. Of course, we are security guys and there is no absolutely secured system. Then we decided to find a method to make these fake voices bypass this looks very strong detectors. The findings are pretty surprising. In short, it looks like all existing detectors are just bullshit. Yeah, bullshit. Impossible for real world environments. This briefing has two speakers. Me and my partner, Mr. Tan Yuan. He is for start. By the way, he is still an undergraduate student and it's his first time to speak at a top tier conference like Black Hat. He's a little nervous and his girlfriend is watching the live. Your turn.
I'm an undergraduate and the university is my first time to come here and give my speech. I'm done. Now I'm going to give my presentation. We will first give a precise definition to the fake voice. Then we will summarize existing fake voice detectors. After that, we will introduce our method to bypass detectors. It's a tool called safe deep-voicing. Then comes the evaluation part to prove our findings. Now we are going to discuss what is fake voice. We have been in touch with voice created by machine. For example, Siri. We can tell from Siri's voice that it is not human. But now the fake voice synthesized by AI is able to sound like a real person. We can see the voice tone-based crime is already underway. Before 20th century, the early speech synthesized system is primary and it is very difficult to simulate human voice. The later method of speech synthesize before 2010 is easy to detect its feature. Then comes the age of AI. The AI synthesized speech is smooth and nature. It is difficult to detect. AI synthesized speech is generated by synthesizer and vocoder. The methods are quite well established. Human is hard to figure out whether a speech is fake or not. Human cannot do it, but maybe a program can. Now we are going to investigate the existing detectors. There are many approaches to detect fake voice. All existing approaches are reported very promising performance. The computer vision-based approaches convert voice to image and do classification. 3 server-based methods have a near 100% accuracy rate. And the other approaches also result in promising performance. But do these methods really work in the real world? The answer is no. There are problems with these approaches, and they use unrealistic datasets and didn't consider the speaker in relative features. Here we propose a new concept called speaker humanity features. It is a feature which should not be used to determine human or not. For example, meaningless silence and background noise, different languages, they are not related to the speaker. With this new concept of speaker humanity features, we propose a voice clone method called safe DeepVC. Safe DeepVC voice clone ways based on deep learning and speaker humanity features. We will use this tool to bypass existing detection approaches. In this method, we merge speaker humanity features with existing AI voice cloners. We build a tool called speaker humanity features extractor to get the features we want. This tool will remove specific frequencies and adjust the value of the sound. Then the extracted features will be merged with the AI voice cloner. In voice clone section, the encoder, synthesizer, and the vocoder are already existing methods. Small, we end denoid to remove the noisy part of the voice generated by synthesizer and the vocoder in order to reduce features. We build a demo based on the recording of Elon Musk using safe DeepVC. Now we will play the original recording.
So, I mean, right now, I think one of the most soul-destroying things is traffic. It affects people in every part of the world. It takes away so much of your life and your.
Now I will play the fake voice.
I will give everyone $10 million.
You can see the fake voice is very realistic. I think it can fool me. Fooling me is not enough. The voice bypass the state-of-art detector. Here's the thing: with our safe DeepVC, we are able to perform voice clone attack, and the existing detectors account the speaker humanity features and a part of the feature vector to determine if voice is fake or not. We can merge these features from real voice with fake voice. I'm able to disguise myself as a friend of a target to borrow money from the target, or making dangerous statements disguised as celebrities. The most important step is extract speaker humanity features from original voice of human. We use amplitude, time step, and the frequency to describe a specific audio file. We construct a function to set the amplitude to 0 and a specific time step. The result is we silence all the voices below 4 kHz, and some of the speaker humanity features exist in the voice above 4 kHz. We are going to extract this part and merge it with the fake voice to make it feel real. The part above 4 kHz sounds like noise, but so we reduce their volume. We generate images of the voice before and after processing. We can clearly see the difference between them. From the image of the voice before processing, we see most of the high amplitudes of human voice are below 3 kHz. After processing, the amplitudes below 4 kHz become very low. Now I'm going to play a recording, which is extracted from previous demo of Elon Musk. The value of the recording may be very low. That's what happened when we remove voice above 4 kHz. That's what happened when we remove voice below 4 kHz from recordings. It just sounds like noise while it includes speaker humanity features. So we can merge it with fake voice without detecting it and make it feel real. It's very easy to combine voice from speaker humanity feature extractor and voice cloner. many tools are now available to do this job. These are the images of the cloned voice before and after merged. There is a slight difference between them, but you see this slight difference makes fake voice real. With the steps above, we successfully make Elon Musk really speak.
I will give everyone $10 million.
Under the state-of-art detectors market real. That's all for safety policy, combining speaker inventive features and the existing AI voice cloner with this original recording.
So, I mean, right now, I think one of the most soul-destroying things is traffic. It affects people in every part of the world. It takes away so much of your life and your.
And the way it extract its feature. And we merge it with the cloned voice. The output voice.
I will give everyone $10 million.
Bypass fake voice detectors. My co-speaker will explain evaluation part. Thank you.
Tanya, you need to quit the screen share. The screen sharing, you need to quit this. Okay. Hi guys. I will introduce the evaluation part of this briefing. This briefing is not just propose a so-called novel voice clone attack framework. It's also used to rubbish existing detectors. We propose 4 questions to evaluate this work. RQ1, there are existing detection approaches critical in real-world environment. RQ2, do speaker in relative features really affect existing approaches? In a word, the first 2 questions are about the effectiveness of the speaker in relative features we proposed, and the other 2 are for our safe deep VC. Just to make clear, the baseline data sets open source data sets based on other works include the English version, the Mandarin version, and none of them are included in the publications of the existing detectors. First, I will introduce the existing detectors we selected. The first deep4SizeNet is the latest CV-based approach. We used the implementation open sourced by the original authors. The RealNet 2, an end-to-end based approach as the baseline for AS-based proof. The third one is the first CV-based approach on the top conference. In fact, I remember it's in the CVPR. We use the implementation open sourced in Black Hat USA 2019. The last one is called Deep Solar. We cannot find the open source code of this, and we tried our best to contact the authors, but guess nothing response here. The first one is the real world FPR. In the real world environment, we know the symbols are unbalanced. Most symbols are the negative. Therefore, the human speeches are much more than fake speeches. The FPR is very important for real world development. The results of this experiment indicate none of the FPRs are acceptable for real world. We can see from the table, when we change the data set, just change the data set, the FPR is extremely high. So more than 19% is impossible for real world. The second to answer the RQ2, we need this experiment to know do the features really affect existing detection approaches. There are two parts in this experiment. We conduct noise reduction and frequency removal for target voices. In theory, it will not affect whether it's a fake voice. The detection results should not be changed if these features do not affect the detection. But in the result, after the noising, the detection results are changed and all existing approaches are significantly affected by background noise. We can see most of the detectors perform better than before after the background noise removal. It indicates that the noise may help fake voice detection bypassing the detection of existing approaches. Next, we try to remove the silence. The silence before and after the human voices, just the ha ha ha. After the removal of the silences, the detection results are also changed. So we can see the silence part are also affect the detectors. We can see all three detectors are affected by the silences and they perform better. No matter it perform better or worse, we can see it will affect the results of detection. It indicates the speaker in relative features are indeed accounted by detection systems as a part of feature vector to determine whether a specific symbol is human speech or not. So we can bypass this detection system through the speaker in relative features. Therefore, the answer to RQ2, we believe is yes. We can use them as useful. In the third evaluation, we use a self-built safety VC to conduct this experiment. Can our system clone the voice bypassing existing detection approaches is the key to this experiment. In this experiment, we removed the symbols firstly reported as positive in the baseline dataset. Then for each human recording, we generate 4 new recordings, the fake recordings, of course. The first one, I'm not kidding you, this voice is fake. The second one, the weather is really nice today. The third one, I've sent you the number via WeChat. WeChat is famous. I am in China. And can you please lend me some money? Often used for fragile. The final one, you need to come to the office tomorrow, just for social engineering, of course. The results shows that the fake recordings generated by our framework have much higher negative rates. It means the SIF VC can effectively deceive existing approaches. These recordings are more human than human. We can see from the table, the differ has reached more than 100%. We are much better than the baseline. Our negative rate is much more or much higher than the baseline negative rates. Therefore, we believe the answer to question 3 is yes. The final one, we have to answer the question 4. Can people understand the speeches generated by our framework. We designed a randomized and single blind experiment to verify whether the recordings are clear and understandable. In fact, we use 300 recordings, just you can see from my slides. The results is clear. All of them are pretty good. I think you guys have listened to the demo. Yeah, the experiment indicates that there is almost no difference between the voice generated by ourselves and the human voices. We believe people can understand the output voices of safety VC very well. Therefore, the answer to question 4 is yes. So, through the 4 questions, we have verified the speaker in relative features useful in the detection bypassing. And here are some the takeaways from this. At first, the speeches generation and detection. We introduce how to generate it and analyze the existing detection approaches and their problems. And we propose a novel attack framework which can bypass existing detectors. The second, the difficulties of defending against these fake voices. With our framework, the cloned voice can be more human than human. And it's also the risk warning for the blue side. Existing solutions are far from useful. Do not put them into your production. The final, we also propose some new data sets for future researches. We build them and open source some new data sets with high quality. We deeply understand the importance of reproducibility, and all code of this project, of this briefing are available on GitHub. Some code included in our repository are from the following projects. You can download them and build by yourself and test this. And all data sets used in this project are also available to the public. We have provided the download. You can get the ZIP from the Google Drive. Please note the size of this ZIP file is about 7.8 gigabits. It's pretty big. Here is the description for the data sets. We have divided them into the 4 questions, including the real validation dataset from the FOR dataset and the Chinese version dataset from the magic data. For RQ2, we also give the price date datasets, for example, the denoised and the silence removed, and the third one, we provided the voices generated by ourselves and the voices to test existing detectors. Like for RQ4, you can just listen to the symbols in this dataset. Therefore, through this dataset, I believe you all can reproduce our research and reproduce our experiments. Sadly, we cannot really detect the fake voice now, but maybe we can do it in the future. In our latest research, we have built a fuzzing-based approach with the speaker in relative features, making the symbols can 100% pass the existing detectors. Yes, 100%. Just we need to have some time, about 10 minutes, to generate the fuzzing symbols. We will also publish the proprietary version very soon. Besides, we hope that in future there will be more new novel detectors, and we're also working on this to find a way to detect the field voice for production environment for the real world. Thank you all for listening to this. We are here for questions now. You can also send me an email to discuss with me on this project. Here is my email address.